I want you to take a second and imagine a situation we've literally all been in. You know the feeling, right? You're standing in a line at the grocery store, or maybe sitting on a crowded bus, and someone gets just a little too close to you. They haven't actually touched you, not even a graze, but you can feel their presence, can't you? You get that strange, almost tingling anticipation right at the boundary of your skin. It's wild. And it begs a really fascinating question about human perception. Can your brain actually feel empty space?
Well, to answer that, scientists designed what has to be one of the most bizarre and honestly ingenious experiments in modern psychology. Picture this setup for a second. You have a participant sitting at a table, but the real hand is completely hidden out of sight. Right in front of them sits a completely fake, lifeless rubber hand. And hovering in the empty air just above that fake hand is a simple paintbrush moving back and forth. I mean, it sounds kind of like a magic trick, doesn't it? But as you'll see, it's actually the key to unlocking one of the deepest mysteries of human consciousness.
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are breaking down a groundbreaking study from the journal Cognition. Today, we're exploring a mind-bending phenomenon known as the magnetic touch illusion, unlocking your brain's invisible force field. I promise you, by the end of this explainer, you're going to completely change how you view your own physical body. We're going to uncover exactly how your brain generates this invisible force field that surrounds you every single day.
Section 1. The invisible force field. Let's get right into the mechanics of this illusion.
Okay, so this whole system is called peripersonal space, or PPS for short. It's essentially the visual space immediately surrounding our body. Think of it as your very own invisible bubble, or honestly, a personal force field. Your brain is constantly, subconsciously mapping this immediate zone so you can navigate the physical world. It's the built-in radar that lets you effortlessly catch a set of keys tossed your way, or perfectly step around a coffee table without even looking down. We actually have specific multisensory neurons in the brain that are entirely dedicated to encoding this exact perimeter around your body. It's absolutely crucial for survival.
So how exactly do researchers tap into this invisible radar? Well, I want you to visualize this exact sequence. In step 1, the researchers hide the participant's real hand behind a physical screen, so the participant is just staring at a life-sized rubber hand sitting right in front of them on the desk. In step 2, the researcher takes a brush and begins stroking the empty midair at a distance above the rubber hand. To be clear, the brush never actually touches the fake hand. But here is where the absolute magic happens. Step 3. The researcher perfectly synchronizes that midair brushing with a second brush that is actually stroking the participant's hidden real hand.
When those brush strokes match perfectly, boom, the brain does something incredible. As the study notes, this setup results in the illusory sensation of a magnetic force between the brush and the rubber hand. Now, for a split second, you might feel like you've unlocked some serious Jedi powers. You literally sense a thick, magnetic resistance in thin air. But what's really happening is that this sensation strongly correlates with your brain adopting the fake rubber hand as its own. Because the visual cues of the brush in the air and the tactile feeling on your real hand are perfectly synced up, your brain essentially throws its hands up in the air, pun intended, and decides, yep, that rubber hand is actually part of my body.
Section 2. Rules of the illusion. Mapping the boundaries. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how researchers actually quantified this weird feeling.
To figure out the mechanics, scientists had to move beyond just asking people, hey, how does this feel? They needed concrete behavioral data to map out strict boundaries. So they didn't just rely on subjective reports, though they did ask participants to rate the strength of the illusion for sure. They also used motion tracking to monitor really subtle physical reactions, and they used something called intermanual pointing errors. This is a fascinating test. Participants are asked to close their eyes and point to where they think their hidden real hand is. Under the influence of this illusion, participants consistently miss their real hand and point closer to the rubber hand. Their brain's internal map has literally been rewritten by this invisible magnetic touch. But here's the most dramatic finding from all this data: 40 centimeters. To put that into perspective, that's roughly the length of a bowling pin. This invisible force field has a hard limit. The researchers found that the illusion doesn't just slowly fade away into infinity as the brush moves higher. Instead, it exhibits a non-linear decay. It drops off dramatically at exactly 40 centimeters away from the hand. If the brush strokes the air 30 centimeters above the rubber hand, you feel the magnetic pull. If the brush moves to 50 centimeters, snap, the illusion shuts off and the magic is completely gone.
And this brilliantly illustrates that the brain's invisible force field isn't just some random fantasy. It follows very precise, logical rules about the physical world. Let's look at the contrast. You can easily break the illusion by introducing asynchronous brushing.
meaning the timing of the two brushes just doesn't match, or amazingly, by placing a simple piece of cardboard between the midair brush and the rubber hand. The brain immediately knows, hey, this magnetic force cannot penetrate a physical barrier, so it shuts the illusion off. On the flip side, you keep the illusion going with synchronous brushing, and remarkably, the invisible force field will actually follow the rubber hand if the researchers slide it around on the table.
Furthermore, get this. This mapping happens completely independent of your gaze direction. You don't even have to be staring directly at the brush for your brain to calculate this magnetic force. Your peripheral vision and your overall spatial awareness are constantly maintaining this 40-centimeter bubble around the limbs you perceive as your own. It keeps the radar active whether you are actively focusing on it or not.
Section 3. Why this matters. Building your reality. So the crucial point is figuring out what this means for us every day.
Why does any of this actually matter? I mean, it's a really neat party trick, sure, but this experiment is essentially a window into how your brain builds your entire reality. It shows us that multisensory integration, specifically combining vision with touch, is the foundational tool the brain uses to map that peripersonal space. And by mapping that space, the brain performs its most important job of all, creating bodily self-perception. This is literally how you know that your arm belongs to you and the desk sitting in front of you belongs to the external world. Your brain uses that invisible bubble to draw the absolute line between self and other.
As the authors of the study beautifully conclude, these findings provide strong support for the notion that multisensory integration within peripersonal space underlies bodily self-attribution. So, this illusion isn't just a glitch in our hardware. Not at all. It acts as a direct perceptual correlate for the exact neural processes that wire your sight and touch together. Every single second of your life, your brain is actively constructing the feeling of owning your physical body by continuously scanning the empty space right around it.
Which leaves us with a truly profound thought to walk away with today. If your brain's sense of self actively extends outward into the empty air, constantly waiting to interact with the world around it, where does your body actually end? Is it really at the edge of your skin? Or does the true concept of you extend 40 centimeters out into thin air? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me today. Keep wondering, keep learning, and hey, definitely pay attention to that invisible force field the next time someone stands just a little too close. See you next time.